Hi, we are here today to discuss the top 3 mistakes founders may make while pitching to VCs. I've had the opportunity of being in more than 1,000 pitch meetings with founders and the good fortune of having invested in multiple unicorns and 20 other companies. I would love to discuss what I have seen through this journey with you so that you can have a better pitch the next time you meet a VC. My name is Yash Sankrityan and I'm a principal at Jungle Ventures. Let's dive in. The first point which comes to mind, which is very important not just for the pitch but even for you to evaluate the startup you're building, is knowing the market well. Multiple things go into that. The first one would be having a very good sense of what the value chain today is and why it is the way it is. Often we see that founders end up being somewhat dismissive of the problem statements which exist today or the attempts which have been made to solve it. That's not to say that things can't be changed. There's certainly imperfections and there's certainly new technologies which are coming up which can help make the value chain much more efficient. But having a good sense of why things are the way they are is important, so you are aware of the inefficiencies and roadblocks which you may face yourself even if you take a technology-based approach. To have a good sense of what the market is and which you're going after. In the sense of what is the initial addressable portion of the market, how would you attack it, what are their problem statements, and what makes those problems important enough that your customers will love you and stick with you for a long time as you try and solve them. The third point I would like to share is knowing about your competitors and the adjacencies as well. What I mean by competitors is people who are doing something very similar to what you're doing. Most founders tend to have a decent sense of that, even though they may not have a very good sense of to what extent are the competitors actually a threat. You should never be worried about your competitors, but you should be aware of them. But one thing which has been emerging recently is large internet platforms, the likes of Amazon, Facebook, Google, but also within Southeast Asia, the likes of Grab, Gojek, Shopee, Garena. They are not only building the initial product which they became famous for, but expanding into lots of other spaces. And that's what I mean by adjacencies. While you may feel there isn't a direct competitor to you, which may be exactly like what you are building, the adjacencies may at some point find it easy or attractive to expand into your market as well. And again, that's something to be aware of and work around. That's not something to be worried about, but it helps when you are aware of how the market is structured and how you could take advantage of it. And finally, the last point within knowing the market well is have a hypothesis on how the future is likely to play out. As I mentioned, it is a hypothesis. The accuracy of it will depend on a lot of factors. But if you've done steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I mentioned well, you will have a good sense of how things are, how things need to change, what are the problems, and how the future would look if you created a solution so as to solve that problem. The point of this is not to have something which plays out exactly the way you describe it. The point of it is to have enough vision, but also enough analogies and data points which you use to come up with that hypothesis. This gives comfort to you as well as to the VC that you have a forward-looking vision and a good sense of how things may play out. The second major important point where I've seen some misses by founders is planning and executing the pitch meeting well. What I mean by that is often people end up with a pitch deck which they would like to run through, but it is a longer pitch deck. That's great and it covers all the details of the market and the business, but what you have to think of is in a traditional 45 to 60-minute meeting, at most you should spend 20 minutes on your planned pitch. What I mean by that is if you are covering the story as per the flow of your deck or even talking through it, you should spend only 20 minutes to cover it from your side. That may extend if there's Q&A from the VC and you are also discussing finer points with them, but you should ensure that you don't run through the whole 45-minute meeting just saying your story, because the discussion and the deep dives actually make it much more interesting for you and the VC. That extends into having a deeper discussion on the points. After you've completed your pitch in the first 20 minutes, you definitely want to engage more closely on the key points which the VC would like to understand more about. And this is important because in the first part of your pitch, you shouldn't be going too deep into complex areas. It's important to start with the basics. As you start with the basics, you cover the traditional flow of what is the industry like today, what is the problem statement, what is the solution you have in mind, and how would you roll it out. And after that, only do you go deeper into certain areas. We've seen sometimes, especially in more complex spaces, fintech is a great example, founders, because they are so close to the problem and the solution, often dive into the nitty-gritty details which may gloss over how attractive or interesting the market is or even how large the market is. and that's a mistake. You want to start with the basics. If the other side is well read on the topic you're covering, you can quickly gloss over them. But it's often a mistake to assume that the other side, and often one of the team members may have a good sense, but other people on the VC side may not have a good sense. You want to bring everyone to a common understanding as you do a deep dive. Otherwise, you'll keep running into those same questions again and again. And finally, the benefit of having a deeper discussion in the second half of the meeting is that you also get to evaluate the VC. That's equally, if not more important as well. As the VC is looking at many pitches, they are evaluating whether they would like to make a long-term investment in you. It's the same for you as well. You will end up having a long-term relationship with this VC, and through the discussion and the quality of discussion, you will get to gauge how interested they are, how knowledgeable they are, but also what are the things which are important to them, and is there an alignment in the longer term you would like to build with this potential investor. And the third thing, which I think often ends up being a bit of a miss, is be on top of your numbers. This is very important, as you can imagine, because numbers are a great representation of markets and businesses. They are not the only representation, but they are an important one just to qualify and excite the investor and your own team as to what is the scope of what you're building. The first part of that is having a strong handle on your historical metrics. There's traditionally, at least in early stage businesses, only about 3 to 5 key metrics which give a good sense of how the business is headed. The growth rate, the monetization, the margin structures, your retention of customers, and the delight and engagement you can see through the few metrics. These should be top of mind for you because they are really the health of your business, and you should find the best way to put them across, but also have a very good handle on the details and second level questions which may arrive on that, just because of how important they are to you and therefore will be to any potential investor who does a deep dive on the business. The second would be your immediately addressable market. Asia is a very large region. Most of the industry verticals are very large industry verticals as well. It's not sufficient to only have a 2 or 3 billion market to go after. It would be much more comforting to both sides to have a deeper conversation on who are the first 100,000, 10,000 customers you go after, how do you find them, and how do you retain them. And that's what is meant by bottom-up market sizing. The path to $1 billion starts with $10 million and $100 million, and really getting into the details of the 10 and 100 million would be super useful. And thirdly, the point within knowing your numbers is have a good, well-built set of business projections. Often founders feel that for early stage businesses, so much is going to change in the future, in the industry, in the market, in the way you're approaching the business and building the business. But I believe it is still important to show that you've looked at global analogies, you've looked at your historical metrics and studied the market to come up with a set of projections. Again, the accuracy of the projections is much less important than the fact that you put a good amount of thought into it and you have a sense on how it's likely to play out. In summary, the 3 most important areas are 1, know the market well, 2, execute and plan the pitch meeting well, and thirdly, have a good handle on your numbers. Hopefully this is helpful to help you have better pitches in the future. If this content was useful, please like and subscribe, and we'll be putting out content to help founders do much better in the future going forward. Thank you.